Hello, guys. Welcome, welcome. Guys, it is January and it is a new year, but my oh my, is it starting off cold. I'm going to start us off with a little bit of hosier. And if this is your first vet pop, please utilize the chat with these little prompts. Tell me your name. Tell me either what school or what area you're from. And then I want to hear about sweet things. So tell me your favorite sweet drink or your sweet food to kick us off. Thanks, guys.
It can't be said I'm an early bird. It's 10 o'clock before I say a word. Baby, I can never tell.
Ooh, double chocolate cake. I like that. A lot of chocolate. Okay, great.
To go to bed before the daylight. But then you wake up for the
Classic. Lugine, I love it.
sunrise. You know you don't gotta pretend. Baby, now and then, don't you just wanna wake up dark as a lake?
Wisconsin and ice cream. I mean, and it comes with the territory, right, Tia? I love that.
Drunk on life, babe. I think it's great. But while in this world, I
Any
think I'm
favorite ice cream flavors out there?
my coffee
Ooh, an
black and
icy.
my
Oh my gosh, cherry coke ices are my jam. Whenever I see those at the movie theater, I get really excited.
You're too sweet for me.
Just wait one more minute for a couple people to come in.
My coffee black and my bed at 3. You're too sweet for me. You're
Hot
too
fudge lemon.
sweet
Ooh,
for
yes.
me.
Gummy sour candy. Any favorite flavor of the gummies? I know some people are like peach people. I like the cherry ones. I can only find them at oh gosh, what is it? Cracker Barrel. That shows I'm from the South.
I aim
Awesome.
low.
Well, thanks, guys, and continue to utilize the chat all evening. That is what's fun about vetPOP and getting to know your fellow veterinarians and vet students and early career vets. My name is Dr. Z. My title is Campus and Industry Partnerships Veterinarian. I am small animal GP, so a lot of what I will talk to you today about kind of nailing the in-clinic interview is definitely from a small animal perspective. However, I switched from mixed animal in school, and quite a few of my vet school friends are mixed animal or have gone through the match and specialized. So I have a little bit of insight into those as well. But I love being in this industry, and I do a lot of things for the industry. And if you ever are interested in kind of learning more about AVMA, Fear Free, what it is to do a business leadership training, compassion fatigue, I would be happy to talk to you about that because they're all cool programs. So today on vetPOP, every month we meet during the usually school year semester. We have these monthly vetPOPs on Wednesdays, and today's free prize will be also given out in tradition. All you have to do is participate in the chat, which like Brianna and Mario and Maria have already done. So kudos for you guys. Good to see you guys. And if you ever see that little symbol at the bottom, to drop it in the chat one, that means I want you to participate. So that is a way you can get entered into that prize at the end. What is today's prize? Today's prize is clothes, scrubs, shoes. So this is a really pretty pattern. If you are wanting to be a little bit more traditional or masculine, clothes also has several different colors. So you can choose. Oh no, I'm cutting out. Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, you were getting paused a few times there and cutting out, so it
Okay.
might just FYI.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. So with these clothes, you can have something more traditional or more masculine. But what's really great about them is a lot of them don't actually have ties, so you can just slip right into them. And then the other side of things is they're washable. You can get peed on, you can get blood on, you can get anything on these guys, and these they wash off really easily. So, and they're pretty darn comfy. They have good support for being on your feet all day. So hopefully someone will enjoy those. I have a pair of burgundy ones that I really, really like. Okay, guys. So what's a scoop? What is vetPOP? It was a way to engage with passionate students and early career veterinarians in a way that keeps your clinical learning and your in-school learning going in a fun way. I hate death by PowerPoints and other things, and so this was just a quick 30 to 45 minute CE that you guys can take away and hopefully learn something from either me, myself, my team, or from the people in the chat. We've had a lot of good stories and good ways of thinking and learning about things, and that is what the VetPop community is all about. Um, and who brought it all about? I am so lucky to work for a great company like Alliance Animal Health, who kind of pushes passionate people forward. We have a practice network of 250 plus hospitals now. We just celebrated that big win. And we are a private practice plus model. We go from mixed animal routes to new openings in urgent care, and we're able to allow each clinic to look and keep their unique town, unique culture, unique community. So there's no Alliance Animal Health clinics, but it's Town and Country, it's Cumberland Road, it's Animal Emergency. They all look a little bit different, and that is what's great about our network. And in the network, we have a really passionate program about Lions Educate. So not only do we want you to help you in school, and you'll see several of my student programs teammates around your campuses, but we also want to educate you as you further in your career. Another wonderful thing I love about Alliance is it's not just educating doctors, it's also educating your support staff. And we all know we cannot do our jobs without our technicians, without our practice managers, without our assistants. So being able to provide learning opportunities for them too, and the Alliance Educate is wonderful. And vetPOP is just one of the many ways that we do that. Here is that snapshot of where we are. We continue to grow. And in fact, there are several kind of states that are looking to grow. And I have to change this little balloon now to 250 because that's such an exciting journey for Alliance. But I did go ahead and include too, while I said you won't see any Alliance animal health practices, you might see priority pet urgent care. We have expanded this model quite frequently. So if you are an ER girl or guy, or maybe just think about urgent care, look for priority pets near you, especially if anyone's at Georgia. You have a priority pet right near campus. If your pets ever need anything, they are right there. Okay, guys. So what is today's workshop about? Just a little reminder that it's a great day to need a job as a veterinarian. It's a good career field to be in. And we are going to talk about your interviews. This is mostly the interviews that I'm talking about is for you to become an associate in a practice. Like I said, small animal bias, but I'll use a couple different examples of what interviews might look like in different processes for you guys. Whether that's you're doing an internship or maybe you're interviewing for a leadership position or things like that. So great. Let's start off and think about how many interviews do you think you've had in your life? And it's not just vet. Some of you might be able to say zero. Other of you might have had an interview for college, interview for jobs, things like that. So just drop a number. Or if you think of a creative way to think of an interview, I think that's great too. So drop it in the chat. Around 10, 5-ish. Hundreds. Yeah, more. I love it. That does not surprise me. Yes, great answer. reason I did the reason I did this song is not only because I love it right now, it's a great song, but I literally think like finding the right job is kind of like finding the right relationship in dating. And I can tell you there are a lot of clinics that are like, where the heck is my next veterinarian? Where are they? I've been looking for them. And hopefully that could be you. You also can be the opposite of, where the heck is my dream clinic? I'm looking for them. Um, but in general, another question I want you guys to think about is, true or false? Most veterinarians are intimidated to hire a new grad. What do you guys think about that statement? Praying false. Get a lot of false. I think it really depends. Yes, Mackenzie. Mallory, a lot of work. And I hear you. This is a trick question. Definitely, I believe it's more true, but it's a 50-50 situation. Some people need experienced veterinarians to come in and take on. But more often they are willing to hire a new grad and mentor a new grad. They're just nervous. They're nervous to be your mentor, probably almost as much as you are nervous to get be their mentee or to get a mentor. And the reason being is, things that they might be thinking of: am I a good enough teacher? Am I a good enough, are they going to learn the same way that I learned? Have they learned techniques that I don't know? Am I practicing old standard medicine? And are they going to be happy with how my clients and I have a relationship, or are they going to need more? Things like that. So I just wanted to kind of remind you guys that an interview is a two-way street there, and it is a-okay to be nervous about it, because more than likely the person that's interviewing you is nervous to meet you too. Excited, but nervous. And I have a whole other talk about myth busting on production and how it's hard to hire a new grad, when reality, new grads can make a ton of money for their clinic. So if you want to know more about that, you should go to my VetBots lectures, because those are great about that. So the happy news, oops, so sorry, is that you are hopefully going to be mentored by a great veterinarian or a great service. And in the reality, it's a pretty good time to want to get hired. With the economy and climate, it is hard to pay for groceries right now. I absolutely understand. But the good news is, as a veterinarian, you have a lot of options. So in 2025, Indeed named veterinarians as the top job. This was showing the availability of positions, as well as the payout and benefits. And one of the reasons why the payout and benefits has increased, back in 2024, the AVMA Economics Survey did a note talking, or looking at statistics on job boards and positions. And basically, it was an almost 19 to 1, about 18.5 to 1 job ad. So that means there was 18 point jobs available for every active job seeker in 2024 on those job boards. So you had almost 20 different clinics that wanted to hire you, right? And then there's another group, they're called VMG, that hires veterinarians, and about 40% of their members were actively hiring. So that's almost 50% needed to hire someone new. So the reality and the good news about all of that is, you will find a job. And I hope that it is your dream job. The big thing that differs on the job market right now is location, and whether or not you fit in with the clinic culture, the type of medicine they practice, i.e., you're probably not going to be able to find a mixed animal clinic in downtown New York City, right? But if you're looking out west, or looking down south, you might have a better opportunity, versus companion animal. And they're almost on, every street in the city. So there are options there. Okay, so when we think about getting a job, I want us to be rooted on why we're doing it in the first place. So I want you guys to go ahead and think about a passion that you have in vet med. Maybe it was why you applied to vet school, why you're still practicing medicine, why you want to practice a certain type of medicine. Whatever that is, I want you to drop that passion in the chat, okay?
You stepped inside with a vibe I ain't never seen. Yes, you did. Ooh, so girl, if you talk like you walk, come and talk to me. But look here, it
Oh
would
my
break
God,
my
these are all so
heart,
great,
break my
guys.
heart, break my heart if I find out you can't move. You
Yes.
better show me now, show me
Got
now,
some love,
show me
a lot of
now.
love for access to
'Cause when I
care,
take it to the floor, ooh, you gotta
client
get there.
education,
You know
cage.
what to
Yes,
do.
that's my love
Hey,
language.
Mr. DJ, play a song for this pretty little lady.
Awesome, awesome.
'Cause if she dances good as she look right now, I just might
Yes.
make her my baby. I just might make.
Okay, I have Bruno Mars is hyping you up in your passions. No, but really, guys, when we think about our passions, and we think about our whys and why we're doing that, um, just remember that root when you're interviewing. Remember why you're there. A lot of those passions are probably why you're choosing those clinics, maybe a more rural clinic for underserved communities. Maybe you're choosing a specific residency or an internship to get you a residency, like in surgery or opto for y'all. But other things like the ability to work with client education or helping people, that can really help you shine in an interview. And if you start to think about that root principle of your why, if you aren't seeing, those kind of things, aren't seeing those passions, so maybe your appointment times are really, really quick, so you don't have time to client educate. Or maybe you don't see or you're not seeing as many emergencies or, critical care hospitalization that wouldn't fill your cup, like if you were Megan. So those are kind of good things to make sure that your passion is your foundation of your job choice, as well as can be something you talk about if they ask you what you're interested in. But my other tip, and I want you to think about this as we go on, is what are you passionate about outside vet med, right? So I love music. I love my corgis. I'm wearing a little corgi shirt today, if you can see. And those are things that I talk about. I talk about how I love to golf and um, that I love to travel. And those are different parts of me that are not just a veterinarian. And getting to know your staff that you might interview with and getting to know the other doctors also gives you an idea for the culture of the clinic, too. Alrighty. So, what are the objectives of interviews? So, in my personal opinion, and I've interviewed a lot, going back to our original question of how many times do you think you've interviewed? Formal interviews, I don't think I can count on two hands. And on the other side of things, interviewing people, I still same thing. But I really loved when one of you said, kind of anyone you meet is an interview. Yes, I am such a kind of woo person, which means I enjoy networking and getting to know likenesses and connections in people. And so those mini conversations are mini interviews for me. But in my opinion, what should an interview consist of? In a way, you need to make them like you, right? I have had people go into interviews and they're just, this is the way I am. And if they don't like me, then I don't want this job, right? But there is a way to be professional and to show your true you without coming off rude or arrogant and things like that. So I just encourage you to be respectful and to show them you're yourself, you're you. If you're a smiley person, then smile. If you're not a very emotional emotive person, that's okay too. Show them who you are. Um, the next part of the interview is testing your fit, right? I have been in clinic interviews where I really love the location. I love the medicine they practice. But gosh, I am just not vibing with the staff, or or the opposite. Maybe I really, really love the staff, but I am an hour and a half away from this clinic. It is very far. So seeing and weighing the pros and cons of kind of your fit in that clinic is a big part of an interview. And then also seeing if on the other side, they're seeing you and see if they fit into your culture. So that's the big thing. They have to bring on a new teammate who they hopefully isn't going to rock the boat and is going to, help their clinic grow and help their clients grow and things like that. Especially with the match program and internships, they are really seeing if their kind of hospital is going to be good for your professional growth and good for your advancement if they could see you as a future clinician in their field. So this is a good thing to be thinking about of, why I'm interviewing. Just like in a relationship or even further down the road in a marriage, yeah, and interviews are often with jobs about understanding if your needs and their needs can be met, right? So if you really want to work ER and like those critical cases, but they're telling you that they're mainly vaccines and general practice, your needs might not be able to be met there. Or if they are saying, we would love to have you 7 days a week, but you know that you need to take care of kiddos or do something else, where 4 days a week is more of your work schedule, that might be something you need to chat about and see if that could be met. But remember, it is about your wants too, not just your needs. And in this market, you can want for a lot of things. I will say the biggest want is probably location and culture fit that I see. And when I'm helping new grads review contracts and review their places, um, that'd be reasonable, right? Just like I said, mixed animal practice in New York City, probably not going to happen. But let's see as many of your needs and wants coming together in a perfect picture. That's what I want for each and every one of you. And then the ending of the interview. End with your next steps and a follow-up plan. I am a little old school in this way, but I really like a thank you card. I'm a handwritten thank you card, but I've had great text message thank yous, great emails from externs who've shadowed me or candidates who've interviewed with me, just thanking me for my time and getting to know the clinic. And honestly, that can be your next step too, right? So sending them a thank you card and thank you for their time. Maybe they're not the clinic for you. I'm looking at different options at this time and I'm pursuing a different location. Or at this time, I'm looking for a different XYZ. It is absolutely okay to give them an answer and kind of utilize that as a communication out. It is not okay to completely ghost clinics and not communicate what the next steps would be. Because until you say you're not interested, they could be holding off hiring because they love you so much and want to hire you. So make sure that we're respectful on those both parties, both ways. And even if it's towards the end of the interview and you are not feeling like, giving them the no answer, then that's okay too. I've met someone who is like, well, if they don't tell me no in person, that they're never going to tell me no. And I don't agree with that. I think sometimes you just have to wrap your head around the whole situation, sit on it, sleep on it, and then maybe come up with a more respectful way. Or it's a big decision to make and a good decision. So not jumping into it and sleeping on it is also a good thing. So give me, until the end of the week, give me a couple days, and I will have an answer for you, that kind of thing. So here are ways that you can shine in the interview process. My big one is to show up to impress. I had a mentor tell me that you want to be a good cop in this situation. And what they meant is cop for being clean, on time, and prepared. So for clean, making sure that you're well presenting, you've brushed your hair, you've brushed your teeth, that kind of thing. You're coming on time, and on time in interview world, in my opinion, is at least 10 minutes before the interview. I would prefer you even 15 if you can, but just showing that you're respecting their time for being early. And usually what happens is that you meet a receptionist, and then the other part of the team has to scramble to finish up clinics or figure out where to put you and things like that. And sometimes they've even very meticulously laid out their schedule for you to come. So please be on time. And then be prepared. I'll talk about in another slide on ways to be prepared for an interview. But just showing up and bringing a smiling face can go a long way. But if you really want to shine in their view, being prepared is the way to go. The next way is to offer to help. Um, I cannot tell you how many interviews have kind of not impressed me because they were wall shadowing or just seemed disengaged. So in person, offering to help, offering to hold that animal if they let you, oh, let me grab you the syringe, or, oh, let me get the door. Like, there's a lot of things in a working interview that makes it difficult because of liability and safety and things like that. Um, so obviously you don't have to help to scrub in and get a pedicle, right? If that's not what you're comfortable with. But there's easy ways to show that you're being helpful. What about on a screen, on that kind of interview? Staying engaged, keeping eye contact, trying to look at the camera directly. I talk with my hands, and so that is something that you can just show that you're, engaging with that interviewee. Maybe they're zooming from the clinic wall, so you can interact with them about their clinic. Oh, I see that you have your diploma. What school did you go to? Offering to be engaged or being just helpful in general. I just had a partner call, which is basically where alliance doctors who are joining our network get to know each one of us on the team. And I was representing talent, and our partner doctor was having a hard time with his camera, and I was able to help turn it on and get it going for them because he was interviewing me as much as I was kind of interviewing him for the Alliance Network. So that will really set you apart when you show that you're starting to build those relationships early on in the working relationship. And then actively getting to know your staff. I am big about this on interpersonal communications. But during that interview, when you're walking around, asking things as simple as, hey, are you a dog or cat person? Or what's your favorite breed? Or, oh, wow, you got that blood really quick. Are you known as the blood person or that kind of thing? An even better one, and it's used a lot in interviews, but it's a good one, is asking the interviewer or just staff, what's your favorite part about working here? Why did you choose to work here? Or, oh my gosh, you've been working here for 20 years. Like, why have you stayed so long? Like, what makes you so loyal to this clinic? And hearing their answers will help you understand your fit and their culture. But it's also just getting to know them as people, and that shows that you're interested in it too. Um, so again, if you haven't been in an in-clinic interview, which is what I'm mainly focusing on, it can vary greatly. Sometimes it's a in-person one day kind of gig. Sometimes it's a half day. Other times, your whole externship is technically an in-clinic interview or a preceptorship or a rotation, shadow experience even. So not it doesn't always have to be for employment, but do remember how you come off and how you show yourself can make a long-lasting impression too. But for like the typical starting day, or you're only there for a day, someone will greet you at reception. They bring you back to the doctor's offices, maybe drop your stuff at their desks, or bring you back to the treatment area where the doctors are. Usually a medical director, an owner, a practice manager will want to sit down and get to know you. And then you're going to work with the team. You're going to shadow maybe some of the associates, maybe see the cases that are going on. Maybe you're paired with an experienced technician. Maybe they even have you start to shadow rooms or do things. It can vary. Same thing with mixed animal. You're probably riding out in the truck with the veterinarian and their tech, and getting to know clients on the farm, and getting to know you in the ride. I know a lot of interviews for mixed animal. It's like you start on one farm and you have your job offer by the end of it because of the long drives. But my encouragement is if you're able to get to know other associates, if you're able to get to know other doctors and just the medical director, please do. Yes, there are some clinics that there are two doctors, or yes, there are mixed animal, that you only really get to know one person at a time because we're all on different farms and things like that. And that's okay. But if you can connect with the different associates, you're going to get a different perspective of how the culture works. And you're going to want to know that because you're going to work with these people every day. Maybe you meet someone perfect, and then the other associate is their opposite for whatever reason. You don't get along with them. You're going to spend a lot of time at work, so I want you to enjoy everyone that you work with. Then usually they're going to take you out of a clinic setting, and this is to either be more casual or more formal, depending on what kind of clinic setting they're going for. That could be lunch, that could be dinner. Maybe it's a follow-up dinner. Maybe you had a great interview and they want to offer you a job. And so just know that that could be coming. And no, you don't have to keep your whole schedule open for it. You can, plan accordingly. But maybe you're flying into that area, maybe you're traveling into that area. Maybe let's not make plans every lunch or every dinner because they're going to want to do that for you while they're there. And then if you are an early career veterinarian, you're already practicing, relief shifts are becoming a great way to interview, right? You're actively working, you get paid to work, and you can actually see the staff and how they work on not just their best behavior for interview day, right? You might see them for a couple days or over a weekend when it's really hectic and get to know them. And so that is just another way that the in-clinic interview has changed. Your go-to checklists for interviews. So I mentioned I would talk about this. So my biggest thing is attire. And why I focus on these beautiful pink heels. Personally, when I show up to in-clinic interview, I usually do business professional or business casual. If I can do a little bit of research, look at their website, see what the other doctors are wearing, I can. If I'm friends with any of the doctors, I'm definitely going to ask them what they wear to try to blend in as much as possible. But I usually tend to dress up instead of down. And I always have an extra pair of scrubs in my car, in case I can help in a procedure or something gets dirty. I have something to change into. But my number one thing is I will always wear work appropriate shoes. As a industry and corporate veterinarian, I could wear heels to a lot of my business meetings and be accepted because that's what a lot of business women do. But as a working veterinarian, my business professional is something that I can run around in, walk around in, bend over, everything like that, because my job needs that. And I need to protect my feet, right? A lot of my patients are stepping on my feet. And so an open-toed heel or even a big heel might not be the case. I did have someone show up to interview for a technician position in a beautiful suit, but they were wearing, really high heels. And it made us wonder, what their experience was and if they were going to be capable of being, working on the job. So think about those work appropriate shoes. If you have a stethoscope, go ahead and bring it. If you have a name tag, I highly recommend bringing that too. That'll only help the staff connect with you a little bit more. And then kind of like I said, I was, researching their website for attire. Do your research on the website in general. Do they have a social media page? What is the culture like on that? Do they have a website, period? And then what does their website show? Do they have certain services? I saw some of you were interested in dentistry or Therio. Those might be things that are featured on the website that you can ask and better understand. Maybe they don't have your service that you really like. So that can be a topic of engagement of, hey, I really love dentistry. I see that you do a little. How would you feel about me expanding on that? Or how would you feel about mentoring? Or maybe I'm going to need a bit more CE. Um, and honestly, dentistry is a great way to grow revenue. So I'm sure that they would be happy to help you with that journey. All right. Oh no, I don't think my music is working on this one. Bummer. So I want you guys to tell me something you should not do in an interview. Obviously, wearing bright pink heels or stilettos to an interview might not be the best situation. Can you guys think of something else you shouldn't do? Or maybe you've seen someone do it? I'm curious of your stories. Using slang. Okay, yeah. I think it's okay to use like veterinary appropriate slang. Like if you were going to say the patient's ADR, everyone kind of understands that. But I'm with you. Like act professional. They might become your best friends, but they're not your best friend right now. So yeah, that's great. Don't show up late. Yes, 100%. Show up early. Don't ignore or be rude to support staff. Yes, that is a good way to not get a job offer, is to be above people. Name drop or criticize other clinics. Yes, the veterinary industry and world is so small. You will be surprised on how many people know each other. And so, not bad mouthing other clinics. Yeah, someone else had said that too. I love that. Um, Staying quiet and not showing your yes, exactly. And if you're a quiet personality, that's great, but just still be engaging and still being show that you're interested about them. Don't talk about something really personal. Agreed. Again, they're not your best friends yet. Oh, but yes, Gabe. Yes, that Step Brothers is great. Another thing was asking questions in front of the clients. Oh, yeah, I agree. So especially if you're shadowing in a room, asking questions in front of a client can look and feel a lot awkward. And this applies a lot in externs. I see a lot of externs ask me questions, and there's a right way to ask the question. For example, if, oh, can I listen to that heartbeat? Or can I listen to the murmur that you like? And 1,010% people will want you to be involved in that. But at asking questions like, why did you do that? Or why did you choose that? Or like something that would doubt a veterinarian's confidence in front of a client can be very rude. It is absolutely fine to ask that question later, on a one-to-one. Or sometimes when they say you're a veterinarian that's interviewing position, clients tell you why they love that clinic. And I think it's, awesome to hear that, but maybe not interview the clients of why you chose this clinic until they feel good about saying that, because that can just put the veterinarian in an awkward position too. Great call out, Mallory. All right, guys. This is another question that I've been asked a lot about my mentors is, okay, yeah, you said there's a lot of job offers out there and I want to find the right one for me. So is there a magic number of how many clinics I should interview before I accept or things like that? And the correct answer is no, there's not a magic number. It can look a lot differently for a lot of different people. I would really recommend in-person interviews. I know sometimes virtual are the only ones you can do, but there's just something about a fit and a feel of being there that I think is really great. I do recommend not just doing just one, right? Maybe you've worked for this clinic for a while and you know it's your dream clinic and things like that, but just interview at one more, just to see what others are doing, what kind of clinics are operating different things. Maybe you'll learn something, or it'll just show you, no, I don't like the way they do that. I'm really glad I'm going back to my clinic, and that can be a great learning opportunity too. And if you are thinking about completely different areas, maybe like Northeast versus Florida, try to do one or two in each, because again, the difference between a Northeast and a difference between Florida could look a lot different. But if you see in generally the area or one or two clinics there, you're going to have a better idea of the kind of medicine you'll be practicing. So that's great. And then the other kind of question I get this around like magic number is how long do I have after I interview and after they kind of offer me a job to accept or decline or like keep them on a wait list. So I already told you ghosting is not okay. But I don't think there is a anything wrong with being clear about your intentions of interviewing elsewhere or being clear about needing time to make a decision. Just be appropriate with that time. So I like loved meeting your clinic in January. I am waiting for my NAVLE results to come out in April. And after my NAVLE results, I will be in touch about what my job decision is. Or it was so great meeting you in February. I have a couple other clinics lined up. At the end of the month, I will reach out to you once I'm done in my job search um, to kind of talk about opportunities. Um, there is the chance that they are going to be interviewing others, not just you, and they might offer that position if you cannot give an answer, in a certain period. So there is always that risk to the gain, kind of benefits. But if you need time, time is okay. Just be respectful and try to give a deadline of those times. Okay, guys. So that is all I have in our episode of Too Sweet. I hope that some of these tips will help you come off as the most amazing early career vet or vet student to your next clinic, and that you can really shine, show them your passions, show them how you show up in clinic, and really just impress the socks off of them. Today's prize will go to a lucky winner. Natalie, can you pick our raffle generator?
Yeah, I
Thank
have.
you.
It's been done. Um, I am not sure again if they had one before, but Alfred Mayberry is the name that came up.
Alfred. Okay, great. And hey, you are a lucky winner if you will just email me, and I will get your size and get your shipping address so that we can send you your prize. Congratulations. Just a couple more things about Alliance. If you guys are interested, there is a little scan code, or you can go to our website, allianceanimal.com, and check out our mentorship program. For new grads, we really do a wonderful job in this aspect, and a lot of our clinics are excited about taking new grads. Or we are excited to show them why you are awesome too, and can take some of the nerves off of them of hiring a new grad. And then this is my Instagram. Just, hey, I didn't make these musics. A lot of other artists did. And if you guys want to join, next month, we are doing a talk about technology and ways that we can make our life a lot better in clinic, advancements that I've seen in general practice, and how you, as newer grads and pretty good at technology, can really help boost your clinic as well. So we'll see you in February. And then if you have any questions or want to follow on Instagram, there's my contact information. Thank you guys so much. Have a lovely evening and appreciate you guys being here. Stay warm.